Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to part 3 of our performance bolt-on upgrade series. So today we're going to be doing the L98 Smog Pump Delete. I was able to find a decent delete kit online. It lets you use your factory belt, which I thought was pretty decent. Some of the other ones that I was looking at gave a couple suggestions and part numbers of other belts to use, which I thought was a little odd or didn't come with a belt. So I ended up going with this. So we're going to take a look at that and we're going to see if it's worth it. Is it worth doing this mod? Kind of right out of the gate, I'm thinking to myself, yes, it totally is. When you get rid of that old school emission pump and all that big bracket and all that kind of stuff. And I was also thinking to myself, what kind of weight are we actually going to be saving here? So we're going to go ahead and take everything off of the car. We're going to weigh it and we're going to see the difference between all the factory equipment and then this bracket delete kit that is like billet runners and plastic pulley and stuff like that too. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by releasing the belt here. I got my 1/2-inch breaker bar in here. There's the tensioner in there. I'm just going to go ahead and move it forward, release the tension, pull the belt off, and then here you can see this is where the smog pump is and the bracket. So we'll start tearing that all off. Probably going to take out all these solenoids and stuff like that too while we're here. There's a smog pump. It's pretty heavy. All right, so this particular kit that I got, it is necessary to remove the actual pump mounting bracket. So we're gonna go ahead and take that off right now. And there's the bracket. Now I'm gonna just remove the air boot and the mass airflow real quick just to free up some room just to access these solenoids in here to get this out of here. All right, as I'm going ahead and moving all these air tubes here, there's one of them that runs all the way from the driver's side exhaust manifold underneath the intake on top of the water pump there, and it runs kind of behind the AC compressor to these here on the exhaust manifolds. What I ended up doing was just unbolting the belt tensioner and the AC compressor. The belt tensioner is just one 15mm bolt. And the AC compressor, I actually unhooked the bracket down here. There's 2 nuts that hold that on, and there's also another piece of the smog pump. It's like an intake metal tube. So I took that out, and what I ended up doing was just sliding the whole AC compressor. I loosened it. There's a bolt here, and then there's a bracket right there that goes on. I actually took this off because I was able to take, this is the tube that goes from the exhaust manifold underneath the actual AC compressor and up to where those plastic solenoids were. So what I ended up doing, once I took that bracket out, I was able just to kind of wiggle this out from there. Now as far as this other tube that runs across the front of the engine, what I ended up doing was I ended up bending it a little bit because now it's ready to actually come out. So I ended up bending it to kind of maneuver it up back through underneath the back of the compressor here. So one other little thing is that I did end up breaking, I believe it's the coolant temp sensor. It runs real tight along where that tube is, and when I was pulling it out I did break that. So just keep an eye out for that too if you end up removing this thing here. Besides that, I pretty much have all the tubes out, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and put the compressor back on and button this stuff all up. Here's where I capped the ports for the smog pump hoses. I ended up using like galvanized caps that I got, and I plugged there's 2 here and then 1 on the other side. All right, so now you can see I have everything removed. Just a couple little things that I found here. So what I did was I zip tied the solenoid connectors back up tight along here. And then there was a vacuum line that came out here. I ended up just snipping it down, plugging it and tucking it up behind or underneath the throttle body there. And the other thing too was you have to remove this bolt from here on this bracket, and what I ended up doing was moving it over to here and bolting that to the head, because right here and there is where the new Delete kit will bolt up to. So we're gonna go ahead and look at that stuff now. Okay, so now I have the Delete kit here. I'm gonna show you everything that this comes with real quick. So it comes with these 2 aluminum brackets that tie the pulley in place here and bolt to the block and the alternator. Comes with the actual pulley, the hardware for it, and then some spacers and stuff like that. There's no install instructions. The gentleman does have a video on how to install this, but I'm pretty much gonna put everything together. We'll take a look at it, what it looks like, and then we'll put it on the car and just kind of do that so we can see exactly how it goes together. The other thing that I was talking about earlier was the weight. So in this box here, there is all the Smog equipment. The pipes, the pump, the pulley, the hardware, the plastic solenoids, hose clamps, everything. And this comes out to be 17 pounds worth of stuff. So taking 17 pounds off the engine, and I weighed the new kit, and this is only 2 pounds, 4 ounces. So you're technically getting rid of 15 pounds of weight off the nose of the car, which isn't a ton of weight, but also is a positive thing. So that's just one more reason why I feel like this is a really good performance upgrade to do. So also too, one of the issues that you'll run into is plugging or capping the hard steel lines that go in the exhaust manifold. What I ended up doing was I got galvanized caps and I just threaded them on. The other option is to keep this piece on here and then just use a rubber cap and put that over there and put a hose clamp. So there's 3 of these on the car, so you need 3 of them. So I took the liberty, and I'm gonna offer, I'll have these in the description that I'll sell in my store. This is for if you wanna keep this part on your car. It's 3 silicone caps and 3 hose clamps, which will sell. And then if you wanna go the other route and you wanna take this off and put these, there'll be 3 galvanized caps that you can purchase too, just to make it easier too. I mean, you can run out and get all this stuff and order it from Amazon. I ended up ordering a bunch of them, so I just figured it'd be kind of nice to offer that to people for a couple bucks to be able to buy this stuff. Or these caps you can get from Home Depot. A lot of guys run like brass ones or whatever. I just decided to go this route because I may be putting manifolds on the car. I'm sorry, headers on the car eventually. So, but these will be available. What I ended up doing too with these, I just took a little high temp RTV and I just put them around the threads, and then I just ran them down just so there's no exhaust leaks or anything like that. So now we're gonna go ahead and assemble this, and we're gonna get it on the car. Okay, so we're gonna just start with this big piece here. So this bigger sleeve goes on the top, smaller sleeve goes at the bottom, and then there's these 2 bolts here that are the same size. They will go through here like this. Like that, and then this will go actually into the cylinder head. So now we will take the pulley, and then there's this tapered piece here that goes actually in the pulley like that. And then there's a bolt and nut with a nut locker on it. This is the actual pulley bolt here. Goes to the front of the pulley like that. And then there is the front of this bracket here goes first, the big bracket, like that. Then there's this smaller spacer here, and then there will be this piece here that goes to the alternator. Now you can see this bottom piece here, that is actually offset, and I believe it goes this way, so that it goes down towards the alternator. And we'll put that on next, like that. And then this is the bolt that goes to the alternator, to this bracket here. All right, so relatively easy and simple. So that's what that looks like. Big bracket, and then top sleeve goes up top, big sleeve goes up top, small sleeve at the bottom. So we're just gonna go ahead and bolt this on the car. All right, so I'm just gonna put this piece on first. This big bracket with the 2 sleeves. I put a little anti-seize on the threads going into the cylinder head. So I'm gonna start with this. The only thing I kind of ran into here was putting this through here with it together. So you almost have to kind of like slide the sleeve and this bracket behind this pulley first, then slide the bolt through to line it up through there. Because if you try to put it in like how I originally had it, it does hit it and it wouldn't line up in there. So you almost have to kind of like finagle that down past the pulley, then roll in the bolt through. But other than that, first bracket's done. So now it's the pulley. And this, and then spacer, bracket, nut, all right, so we'll just snug everything down. The bolt's going to the cylinder head or 9/16. This is like 5/8, and then these are a 1/2 inch bolt and nut. All right, that's it. That folded up really easy. That was the easiest part of the job, putting this on. It took more time taking all the other stuff off and unbolting the AC compressor bracket, sliding that forward, getting everything out of there, than just putting this in there. I mean, if you could just plug everything else and just take the smog pump off and put this on there, it would take you no time. But if you wanted to literally take everything out like I did, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but all in all, it wasn't really a bad job at all. So we're gonna get this belt back on here and then just finish this up. All right, there you go. Looks really nice, turned out nice. Fits good with a factory belt. So is it worth it? Yes, definitely worth it. $90, free shipping, and maybe another like 10, 15 bucks for the little caps for the exhaust. And also you're saving about 15 pounds off the engine of the car. So always a plus when you can shave a little weight too. So in my opinion, yes, definitely do it if you haven't done it already. I will leave the link for this particular delete kit in the description if you want to check it out. It was one of the least expensive ones out on the market, and I'm definitely happy with it. Very good quality, fits good with a factory belt. You don't have to go hunt down another belt with it as well. If you're just doing that pump swap out, it'd probably take you 30 minutes start to finish. If you're gonna take everything out, obviously it takes a little bit longer because you can take the AC compressor out, fish out all those pipes and hoses and all that kind of stuff like that. But in my opinion, like I said, totally worth it. So if you enjoyed the video, press like, subscribe, and stay tuned for part 4.